back to my channel. So just a little heads up, I'm using a new camera right now to film this whole tutorial. I don't know how it's gonna come out. Even right now, I'm not using my other camera where I usually use my microphone that I use to like attach it and stuff. So even if the audio sounds weird, that could be why. I'm just trying to get a feel for it, seeing how it works out with filming and stuff like that. I bought it over the whole Black Friday weekend stuff, so I'm really excited. So far so good, but today is like a test run with the filming. But anyway, aside from that, so I really want to apologize for not having a video up Friday like I thought I was going to be able to, but with everything going on Thursday and like we had our Thanksgiving dinner here at our house, it was just a lot of things going on and it was just way too hectic, and I think I was really being too optimistic thinking I could fit in some filming time, but I really couldn't. So that is why there was no video up for Friday, but we are back to our regular scheduled programming. So today I have a tutorial for you guys. This is the hot pink halo smoky eye look that I had done a Snapchat tutorial on a little while back, and a lot of you wanted a full YouTube video tutorial on it, especially those of you who don't follow me on Snapchat or don't have Snapchat. So I am using the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette once again. I personally love the way that this looks. I think it's a cool way to wear pink, especially like hot pink on the eye, which I know can be a little intimidating and a little tricky. So this is personally just a way that I feel comfortable wearing it, and I also think it's a little bit edgy and stuff, and I toned it down with like the nude lip and everything. So it's also kind of monochromatic as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, let me know down below what you also want to see next. Hope this video filming turned out okay, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.
To start off this tutorial, let's get our hair out of our faces. So what I'm first going to be using is the MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre as always, and to apply this to my entire lid, I'm using my Luxie 233 large fluff brush and just really making sure to press this all over our lid. My brows are done. Used Anastasia Medium Dip Brow to do so. Went a little dark today. For the first color, we're going to be using Divinity from the Chocolate Bonbons palette, and I'm applying this all over my entire lid space. Then going in with Cashew Chew from the palette and just going back and forth in the crease with a Bobbi Brown eye blender brush. Then taking a little bit of Pecan Praline and again just going over in the crease back and forth and in circular motions. We're basically just deepening up the crease, creating a little bit of a transition shade. Then with the same brush going in with Almond Truffle, and again, you guessed it, back and forth in circular motions. Then taking a little bit of this eyeliner. This is the L'Oreal Smoldering Eyeliner, Kajal eyeliner I believe, and it's an oldie but a goodie, and we're using this to apply it to the outer V of the eyelid and also to the inner C of the eyelid. You guys have seen me use this technique before using my gel liners, but you could totally use gel liner if you wanted to. I just decided to use pencil for this just because I felt like it. Wanted to revisit an old product. Also, if you feel like the cream gel liners are a little too messy, try using a pencil eyeliner to help you have a little bit more control. Or if you have hooded eyes, when you open them, they won't get like all over the place and stuff. I'm then using my Real Techniques Essential Crease Brush and then taking a little bit of the dark truffle shade and going over on top of the eyeliner with this and also around the edges, blurring it up into our crease. I'm then going to be switching brushes here just because we're going to start connecting it into the crease middle part. So it's going to be like a little bit of like a moon, I guess, going over, connecting the two. The brush I'm using to connect it over on top is I'm getting used to the names of these brushes because they're new to me, the Luxie 229 Tapered Blending Brush. This brush actually deposits color a lot better than that Real Techniques one does as well, so it was just a little bit more helpful in getting that crease a little bit more dark, a little bit more fast, if you know what I'm saying. Then I'm taking the color Malted and again just going over in the crease. We're going to start my favorite thing, which is layering products just to create that perfect blend. And as you can tell, we're just keeping it back and forth and also in really tight circles. I'm then going to be taking a little bit of the color Bordeaux and then again just going back and forth and again going in tight circles upwards, almost towards the brow bone. Then taking a little bit of Malted onto a different blending brush. This one I believe is called the Nope, not this brush. I have them in front of me, that's why. This is a tapered blending brush also from Luxie. And I'm going a little bit larger circles just to blend this really up towards the base of our brow bone. Then taking the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk and just stamping this right into the center of our lid where we left completely blank. Then taking a flat shader brush, clean and just smoothing over this eye pencil just so it's not so chunky or clumpy, because then it's going to get all over the place and just defeat the purpose. We really want it just to make the color pop. So on that same flat shader brush, we're picking up a little bit of the shade Totally Fetch, which is a really gorgeous pink. I personally think this type of pink is perfect to wear on the eyes, especially for something a little bit more eye-catching, a little bit different. It's more of like a fuchsia. It has some purple in it. It's very electric, if you will. And I think it's just a really cool way and fun way to wear pink on the eye instead of it just like blasting all over the place, something a little less editorial looking. For the eyeliner, I am using the Inglot AMC Gel Liner in 77. I have a full eyeliner tutorial up on my channel. If you guys want one that's more in-depth and I show you how I do my eyeliner, then by all means search that up on my channel and the tutorial should pop right up. Moving on to the skin. I'm taking my Mehron Skin Prep, and I don't know why I've never talked about this before on my channel. I think I may have way back when, but it's been a while and I'm kind of revisiting this product as well. So basically this is like a toner, and let me tell you right now, if you are oily, this is like going to be your best friend. If you are dry, do not go anywhere near this. It's probably just going to make your skin feel awful. But for us oily gals, this literally just takes off like all of your oil and leaves your skin like a clean slate and so prepped and ready for makeup. It also helps your makeup stay on and stick a lot longer. The longevity is crazy insane when I use this toner. Definitely a kit must have. And then just taking a little bit of my Marc Jacobs Coconut Primer and just smoothing that all over my face just for a slight smoothness, just because I don't want my face to be completely matte. Because that toner, let me tell you, it dries you out like that. And I'm snapping my fingers in case you can't hear it. For foundation, I'm using my MAC Pro Longwear Nourishing Waterproof Foundation. I believe I'm in the shade NC25. If not, I'll list it down below. And I'm applying this first onto the center of my face with my Bobbi Brown Full Coverage Face Brush. And I'm applying this on the center first because that's where I have the most redness and where I want the most coverage. I'm doing this in stippling motions just to get a fuller coverage payoff instead of going in swirls or swiping motions and just kind of thinning out the product. Although I realize that it took me a lot longer because the brush is a little bit smaller, so if you want it to be done faster, use a bigger kabuki brush. For concealer, I'm using my Tarte Maracuja Creaseless Concealer in the shade Fair, I believe is what it was called. You guys recommended this concealer to me over Snapchat. So far, so good. I am liking it. It is very moisturizing, I will say that, but the coverage is awesome. It's super full coverage and it really doesn't crease. And I love the finish that it gives, but since I am oily, I do have to make sure I set it with a lot of powder just to keep it from getting too slick. And I'm only applying this on the bottom part under my eyes and kind of just fading it out towards the tops of my cheeks, but dragging it alongside my nose. I don't like to apply this on the center of my face because, like I said, it's a little too moisturizing, it's a little too oily on me. For a little bit more of a brightening effect, I'm using my Sephora highlighting pen in Radiant Rose and just applying a few stripes underneath my eye area as well. And then blending this all out with a dampened beauty blender. I'm using the black one. You guys know this is my favorite one. Mine is hella dirty right now, so please don't judge me. But I'm just making sure to really buff this out, make sure I melt it into my foundation. Then taking the Anastasia Cream Highlighting Kit in the Fair shades, I am taking the shade Fair and applying a thin stripe down the bridge of my nose with that same brush. I believe this is like a concealer brush or a lip brush. It's from Sonia Kashuk, so it doesn't have a name. But I'm then taking the shade Shadow from that same cream palette and applying a stripe down the side of my nose and also going out towards my nostril once we get more towards the base. And applying a little bit of that cream contour shade also on the base or bottom part of my nose. Also down my Cupid's bow and around my lip line. I'm then taking a little bit of the highlighting shade and just highlighting the Cupid's bow, or I guess on the two lines next to my Cupid's bow. Then just blending that out with a beauty blender. I'm also taking my e.l.f. stippling brush and using that same cream highlighting shade and applying it over my foundation. You guys know that I actually use this palette mostly underneath my foundation, but I tried it today and I am loving it. I think the key is just to use less. Less is definitely more when it comes to this palette, since it is so cool tone and so realistic looking. The less the better. Then to set everything, I am using these two highlighting shades from the NYX Contour and Highlight palette on a Real Techniques multitask brush. Then to bronze up my skin a little bit, I am taking my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer on my Sonia Kashuk powder face brush and just really focusing this along my hairline just to give a slight forehead contour, but mostly, like I said, just to really warm it up. Also taking a little bit of this bronzer and also brushing this across my cheeks, atop of my temples, going back towards my hairline, and then also just a little bit around my jawline, but really focusing this on the tip of my chin and also dusting a little bit across the tip of my nose. Then to set my contour and to deepen it up a little bit more, I'm taking this contour shade from the NYX palette on a Luxie large angle brush and just using the very tip of that brush to really just carve out our cheekbones. I'm then taking a Real Technique setting brush and just taking a little bit of that contour powder and just dusting this along the sides of my nose. For highlight, I'm using Benefit's High Beam, and on a finger, I'm just pressing this onto the tops of my cheekbone to give a little bit of boost to our powder highlighter. I'm using the Anastasia highlighter in Starlight, and on a clean Bobbi Brown eye blender brush, just dusting this on the tops of my cheekbones and really packing it on like how I normally like to do. I like to go in small back and forth circular motions with this brush and just really focusing this on the highest point of my cheek until I'm satisfied. Then taking a Luxie large angle blending brush and applying a thin stripe down the bridge of my nose, and then focusing a little bit more product on the swoop of my nose and also on the very tip of my nose, just to give a really nice bright nose highlight. I'm also taking a little bit of this onto my Cupid's bow as well. For blush, I'm using Benefit's Rockateur blush, and on a Bobbi Brown blending face blender, I think it's called the face blender brush, and applying this first from the back of my hairline, from the tops of my cheekbones, and kind of fading it out towards the apples of my cheek. For the lips, I'm using ColourPop's Matte Lippy Stick in the shade Oh Snap, and then I'm going to be topping it off with a gloss. I am using Anastasia Beverly Hills lip gloss in pastel pink, I believe, and just giving it a nice coat, really focusing it on the center of my lips, just to give also a slight ombre effect, but mainly more just for a glossy effect. Then I'm going to be pressing up a little bit of dark truffle from the Bonbons palette up into my lower lashes, and then going over with a Mary Kay smudge brush, taking a little bit of Bordeaux and smudging that line out a little bit more. And then to really smoke everything out, I'm taking a pencil brush and really smoking it out with mocha and a little bit of almond truffle as well. To really intensify the smokiness of this, I am lining my inner waterline with that same pencil that we use on our eyelid. For the brow bone and inner corner highlight, I'm using Satin Sheets from the same palette and just really pressing this onto the very beginning of my brow bone and also just really focusing this on the inner corner. I love this highlight shade. It is perfect. I'm then going to be setting everything while my lashes dry with my Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. For lashes, I am using Shop Violet Boss Lashes in, let me double check really quick. These are in the style Wispy My Name. The glue is drying on them, so once the glue had fully dried or got as tacky as I liked for it to be, I'm just going to pop those right on. And you guys know the drill, how I apply my false lashes, so I'm just going to totally skip over that. But once those lashes are on, this is the completed look. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Hope you found it useful. Who's excited to get their hands on this palette? It's very close to the release date of it. If you guys want to see more looks with it, let me know down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.